Welcome to Gail's Kitchen. This is my favorite time of the year, strawberry season, and I always make chocolate dipped strawberries. So today we're going to make Neapolitan chocolate dipped strawberries. You won't believe the incredible flavor of these strawberries. You won't believe how easy they are, and they are just delicious. Today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate dipped strawberries using vanilla chips and chocolate chips to make a Neapolitan strawberry. These strawberries are the best chocolate dipped strawberries you'll ever eat, and you won't believe how incredibly easy they are. People will rave about your chocolate dipped strawberries. So the first thing you're going to do is get your strawberries, sort through them, find the nicest, firmest ones, rinse them with cool water, pat them dry, and they need to be completely dry when we get started. And next I'm going to show you how we dip them 2/3 of the way with the vanilla chips, and then we're going to come back and use dark chocolate. Imagine the possibilities. So I've microwaved 1 cup of vanilla chips, and to that I added 2 tablespoons of Crisco. You can use coconut oil. I use Crisco. It helps to melt the chips, and it helps to make the consistency a little thinner, so I find that's easier for dipping the strawberries. When you add an oil to your chips for melting, you want to make sure it's an oil that is solid at room temperature. When you melt your chips, you want to use a glass bowl. The bowl needs to be completely dry. Any water on your spoon, on your chips, in the bowl will cause the chocolate to seize. Now I'm using these vanilla chips initially, and we're going to dip the strawberry 2/3 of the way in the vanilla chips. And then we're going to come back and we're going to dip them 1/3 of the way in chocolate chips. Vanilla chips are not chocolate, so they melt a little differently than chocolate. And the instructions for melting are on the back of the package. You want to use a glass bowl. The glass bowl heats up faster and it maintains residual heat. When the chips are about 80% melted, you're going to stop the microwave process and you're going to begin stirring and using that residual heat that your glass bowl is holding to help melt the chips. And that prevents them from burning. I purchased these strawberries, but normally I pick my own and I leave the stem, and that just makes it even easier for dipping. But what we're going to do is just grab by the leaves and dip this two-thirds of the way in, and then let some of it drip off. Lay the strawberry on wax paper, and it's going to start to set up, and then we're going to put them in the refrigerator for about an hour, and then we're going to come back and dip them the second time. So grab your strawberry by the leaves, and I just tilt my bowl and I turn that strawberry a little bit. You see how pourable that is? I actually added 2 tablespoons of Crisco because I like for my vanilla layer to be a little thinner than the chocolate layer. You can add just 1 tablespoon of shortening if you want it a little thicker. So you just twirl that strawberry in. And you can use any combination you want. You can dip them once in the vanilla. You can dip them once in the chocolate. You can dip them in 2 types of chocolate. I just like the look of the red, the white, and the brown color. This is so easy. Just wash your strawberries, pick through your strawberries, and make sure you don't have any soft ones. Pick out the largest ones, or it doesn't have to be the largest ones. Pick out the reddest ones, the firmest ones. So we dipped about 20 strawberries here, and we have a little bit of our chips left over. So 1 cup of chips generally will make at least 2 dozen strawberries. You can see these are already setting up, and I can very gently lift that off of the wax paper. So you want to use your wax paper so that you can lift the strawberry off of there. But I'm going to go ahead and put them in the refrigerator and let them get cold and set up for about a minimum of a half an hour. I just want to make sure that the first layer is solid before we dip them in the warm chocolate next, because that can cause that first layer to melt. So it's important that they have totally set up. So I'm going to go ahead and microwave the chocolate. Melting chocolate in the microwave is a little tricky, so you have to make sure that your vessel is completely dry. Any water in the chocolate will cause the chocolate to seize. So you don't want to lose your chocolate. So make sure your vessel is glass. Make sure it's completely dry. We have a video on how to microwave chocolate, giving you some of the tips to prevent seizing of the chocolate. So I'm going to use 1 cup of chocolate chips, and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of Crisco in before I melt it. And then we're going to microwave on 50% power. So our strawberries sat up in the fridge for about an hour. We'll go ahead and pull the strawberries off of the wax paper. So I removed the strawberries from the cookie sheet and put a fresh piece of wax paper on here. We have our chocolate microwaved. We're going to give it another stir. So we're going to grab our strawberry by the leaves and dip him about 1/3 of the way. And we're going to move fairly quickly here. You need to move fairly quickly because you don't want to microwave the chocolate a second time. That's how they're looking now, and they're just going to go back in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes until they set up, and then you'll remove them from the wax paper. These strawberries last about 2 days before the chocolate will start to pull away from the strawberry. Making these strawberries is just so much fun. They are just so delicious. They're so enjoyable. They make wonderful gifts. If you have leftover vanilla and the chocolate, you can swirl it around, dip it in the swirl, and that makes a beautiful strawberry. Enjoy strawberry season.